I thought maybe that could be a possibility, but I'm not saying that's my story. I don't know what the happened.
This is 34-year-old John Carter, whose innocent portrayal almost let him get away with the murder of his own fiancée. But nearly 12 years later, he would be caught for his crimes.
When you tell me she was found on the ground, just sitting on the ground, that doesn't show me that they cared about them at all.
In the moments to come, John would tell different accounts of the same story in an attempt to lie himself out of a murder charge. But the detectives would find overwhelming evidence, which would prove he is not just someone who made a mistake, but a psychopathic killer so desperately holding on to a failed relationship.
But I'm leaving. I'm getting a lawyer, thank you. I have nothing to do with that.
On the night of August 14th, 2011, John Carter dialed 911 to report his fiancée, Caitlin Markham, missing, saying he saw her at 12 a.m. the previous night. This was less than 24 hours after she had last been seen in the Cincinnati suburb where she lived. In the months and years that will follow, he will repeatedly provide information to the police. He spoke on national media, pleading for her return, and in one interview he told NBC's Today Show he was still calling her cell phone every day. Over a decade later, in 2023, Markham's remains would be discovered in a makeshift dump in Indiana. Caitlin's father described her as irresistible, always wanting to be laughing or smiling. Caitlin met John when she was 16. He was a year older. Their families believed they were very close, with Caitlin's friend describing them as yin and yang, perfect for one another. After Caitlin graduated from college with a degree in graphic design, John proposed to her on her 21st birthday, and they had plans to move to Colorado together. 3 weeks after graduation, Caitlin's father stated he was eating dinner when he received a call from John screaming on the phone, "She's missing. Caitlin's missing, and I can't find her anywhere." When the police responded to the 911 call from John, there was no indication of a crime scene, no signs of struggle, no signs of blood, and no forced entry into the apartment. The police arrived at the home, and the responding officer went up to Caitlin's bedroom to find her wallet, IDs, and cash all lying on the bed. Everything was in the room, including her clothes, except for Caitlin and her mobile phone. The case was popular, and people had their theories, all speculating why she may have disappeared. They theorized she ran away alone to Colorado. Caitlin's family, however, believed there was no way this had happened.
How would, and I guess let me ask you this, before this night and hanging out and stuff like that, was it a regular thing for you guys to hang? I knew you had said there was some sort of a
Like I said, we
gap
started
in
this. Yeah, we started this Colorado plan in June.
Okay.
So I know that we hadn't hung out with them since June.
And again, remind me, like I said, how is it that you guys, how do you know Brad?
Brad met Caitlin at Panera Bread.
They work there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They both had worked there. And they wound up becoming good friends, and then there was a point when I guess me and Caitlin went to go hang out with him. And because I would go to Panera Bread all the time when they closed, and I'd just kind of sit and wait for Caitlin to close so I could pick her up from work, because she didn't have a car at the time. And I had met Brad through Panera Bread as well, just sitting there, and he wanted to be in there and stuff, yeah.
Okay. And then, was it a regular,
We never regularly hung out with Brad.
and not just you, but I'm saying, is it a regular thing for Caitlin and Brad to be talking? Like, are they normal talk?
As far as I know,
talk
no.
regularly, or is it
As
just
far as I know, no.
Okay, so when did she stop working at Panera? Do you remember? Give or take. I'm just trying to figure out when she. Obviously, I don't.
When she started school, so I don't know exactly when but when she started school, she had to quit Panera.
Okay. Did she work at Panera when she worked at David's Bridal?
No.
Okay, so she got the David's Bridal job after
Way
going
after.
to school and way after David's Bridal.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after she leaves Panera, I mean, you guys aren't hanging out with Brad, and it's not.
I mean, we've hung out with Brad occasionally since she quit Panera.
Okay, but it's not like a regular.
Yeah,
thing.
no, we don't call
It
him
wouldn't.
every
Would
day.
it be a fair assumption to say that, I mean, you could go a month or two
Yeah,
and not
absolutely.
hang out, not have any contact one way or another?
Caitlin, I believe after Brad left Panera, he went to Grismer Tire, and he was a mechanic there, and Caitlin would go through him to do repairs on her car.
Okay,
After a while.
I gotcha.
And so she would connect with Brad through there, and then I'd see Brad after dropping her off at her car, and then I'd be like, oh, hey, we should hang out. He's like, yeah, let's do that. And
All right.
he'd come over occasionally to Caitlin's or whatever.
Okay.
But never, as far as I know, not while I wasn't there. You know, they never hung out alone together as far as I can think of.
According to John's statement here, he, Caitlin, and Brad Von Bargen, a friend of Caitlin's and John's, were all hanging out at Caitlin's place. They were the last known people to see her. The detective spoke to Brad, who said everything had seemed to be fine, but Caitlin was a lot quieter than she usually was, not even saying hi to him. He claimed to have left the house by 10:45 p.m.
Something else I want you to do. All right? We had you take the CVSA. We've had a lot of discussion about polygraph this and all this stuff and everything like that. Is that something that you're willing to do for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna do this now,
We're
or?
going to do it now.
Okay.
Is that something that's okay?
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't do anything, so I should
Okay.
be good.
Okay. It's another guy. It's a different guy that I'm using or whatever. He's a nice guy.
Okay. I gotta say, I do get nervous when I take these things.
Which is fine. And he, you know what, you know how he kind of explained everything to you?
Mhm.
He's going to do the same thing to you.
Okay.
He's going to sit down. He's going to ask you some questions as far as some basic things he needs to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
He'll explain what he's doing. I don't want you to freak out when we're walking into a room because it's a different kind of a chair
Okay.
or anything like that. That's just how their stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you've probably watched TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's something like
Okay.
that. Okay? Questions?
No.
Okay.
Let's do
You need to
this.
go to the bathroom? You need to drink? Anything like that?
I'll go to the bathroom real quick and.
I'll let him walk you over there.
Here, John agrees to take a voice stress analysis test, which detects deception by measuring the stress in a person's voice. During the test, John told them he had never hit her. They hardly ever fought, and the relationship was great. John claimed he left Caitlin by 11:30 p.m. after Brad had left. He claimed he then went to a friend's house, where he was till around 1:30 to 2 a.m. He then goes home around this time, where he stays up for 3 more hours watching TV, falling asleep past 4 a.m. The detectives detected deception in this statement.
You know our whole goal and everything that we've been trying to do is to get past you.
Right.
You know, we've had that conversation
Right.
before. You know, logically we've talked about it. Yeah, you're the boyfriend, you're the last one to see her, all that kind of stuff. We've had that conversation.
Right.
These questions are to help us get past you
Right.
and be done with this.
Good.
And be done with you, and unless you and I just want to talk on the phone, be done.
Okay.
Okay. I guess, again, with Caitlin, which is confusing then, is in between the two downloads, is in the first download, there's one message
Mm-hmm.
between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like I said, I know we've talked about some of this before.
Mm-hmm.
There's one message from Caitlin. But then when we download it again, it's gone. That whole one message is gone.
I mean, I'm not a phone mastermind. I don't really know anything beyond what a normal person would know about a smartphone.
Okay.
So, and honestly, I don't even think I know how to delete a single message. I mean, as far as I know, the only way to delete a message is to delete the whole thread. I've never gone through and deleted individual messages.
John, this is one of the things Becky was talking about, that if this is something that,
I'll be completely honest right
Okay.
now, I promise.
if you're talking about doing drugs, drinking, or something like that, you know, that's okay, we understand it. But
Mhm.
this is one of these things that we need to know about it, because there's
I understand.
random sets of deletions.
I know the severity of this.
I mean, if
understand
that's what you're gonna tell us, fantastic. I mean, tell us that answers the question.
I mean, that as far as I know, I did not go through and delete individual text messages. I mean, I don't know how to, never done it, and
You understand, though, from our perspective when we're looking at it and we're looking at these things that don't make sense.
yeah.
That's a thing that we can't wrap our minds around. And obviously her messages being probably important messages to you.
I mean, it's individually deleting, like my brother, Joey, I mean, I have no reason to randomly delete people. I really have no idea. I promise you, I do not know why it did that or why that is occurring.
Okay. Is there anything that is in any of those messages that you would be concerned about?
No, not at all.
Any, like, you know,
I have-
back and forth with anybody as far as, you know, like, again, you gotta figure, we get all kinds of phones and people talk about drugs, that's what he's talking about, talking about drugs, talking about this, I'm gonna buy some or something like that.
No, I left my phone exactly the way it was when I first came in here, and I left my phone exactly the way it was until I deleted all the messages.
Okay.
I promise you I'm telling you the truth on this.
Well, you gotta admit that you get like just take this little frame right
I
here.
don't understand this stuff. Like,
Okay.
I mean, like, I get that it's saying that I did all this stuff, but I don't
Well, and then, I guess let
understand
me
it
how we,
that well.
okay, let me explain then a little bit of how we get into it, okay? Maybe that'll help you. And what we've done is we can let you know we have your phone records, we have Caitlin's phone records, that's how we pull a lot of stuff. So I can look at your phone records, I can look at her phone records, and on the phone records, it'll tell me, is it a text message, is it a, you know, call, it breaks it down. So we can go through the times, and then when we did your phone downloads, obviously we can pull
Some of the
some of what the actual
Yeah.
text is. But then when we compare and compare your phone records with what was in your phone, we're missing things.
I mean, again,
I do
do understand
no,
what
I was gonna say,
you're
do you
saying.
understand what I'm saying, I guess, first of all?
yeah, I understand what
Of
you're
where
saying.
we're
There were
coming from
missing
sometimes.
messages in there. I don't know.
Detectives found that John had deleted entire threads of messages from different people on his phone and deleted a single message from his chat with Caitlin. They suspect there may have been something implicating in the chat.
I said
So at that
but other than
point-
that, before that, I deleted nothing.
Okay.
As far as all of the threads, everything, individual messages, I deleted nothing. As far as I know, nothing at all.
What made you mad? I mean, you said you got mad.
Because I accidentally deleted her messages, and it bothered me. It made me upset. I was like, I can't believe I did that. And, you know, I said, fuck it, and deleted them all.
He claims he got mad because he deleted a message from Caitlin, so he deleted entire message threads from other people.
She would have still been on her way home. I know that. When I showed up.
Wow.
And that's why seeing her car there freaked me out.
Why would you be calling him if you know that she's gone and you know that they're closed? Why would you still be trying to get a hold of her?
I mean, because she's gone. She's not at her house. She's not anywhere she was.
Well, but at this point, you haven't been in the house,
When I called David's Bridal,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I pulled up, saw that her car was there, opened the door, and went in. I didn't call anybody until I knew she wasn't there. That's what I remember. I mean, this again is a long time ago.
I know, and I guess that, like I said, that's what's not making sense is, again, based on where your phone records are and where things are.
Mhm.
When you're on your way to her house, I'm gonna assume, based on the tower that you're hitting, this is even before you're even talking to Matt.
I didn't call David's Bridal before I left work.
You
No,
called
she didn't.
David's Bridal before you talked to Matt.
Maybe I called David's Bridal to find out if she was there for a brief, call. But I don't remember it. I don't
What?
remember doing it.
But she got off at what time at David's Bridal?
According to his statement here, when he woke up, he sent her text messages, which unusually she did not reply to. He then got worried, so he decided to check on her at her townhouse, where he saw Caitlin's car still parked outside in the driveway. He walked into the house to find it empty and see her things on the floor. This was when the 911 call was placed.
Well, when I talked to Matthew, and that's 7:22 in the evening, he says you guys basically have a casual conversation. You know, he says his statement is that you pull in the driveway, you go through the house. He said he really didn't hear anything open and closing. He hears going up the steps, and then in that conversation, you just casually say, "Hey, have you seen Caitlin? Caitlin's missing. I don't know where she's at." And then they end the
In the
conversation.
conversation.
What happens between 7:22 and 7:30 when you get a hold of Dave's and say she's missing? There's an 8-minute lapse there where you go. It's a casual conversation. Matt, hey, have you seen her? Where's she at?
This is probably the buildup. I mean, I see that things are missing. I see things are not right. I start to notice that her phone's here, her purse is here. Her phone's not there, her purse is here. Everything's out of place. So as that starts to build up, I start freaking out, as I said before. And then I get to a point where it's just like, her dad needs to know that that this is all out of place, that nothing is adding up for me. And that's when I got to that point.
But you immediately tell Dave she's missing.
I say I can't find her. I don't know where she is. I don't know if I immediately went, she's gone. I mean, I don't.
That's what Dave and Jill told him.
Okay,
That's her
well,
statement.
I don't know. But as far as I was concerned, the fact that her purse was still there and her phone was not, and her car was still there, and all of that, to me, that meant she was missing because,
Were her keys in her purse?
yeah,
Okay, and then you got them out, right?
yeah, and I put them on the glass counter. I do remember that.
Okay. All right.
So you don't know what happened between 7:22 and 7:30.
I mean, there was nothing apart from the fact that things started to not add up, that was out of place.
If you were talking to her about something and she wasn't okay with something, would she tell you?
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
So if there was something that you were doing and she's pissed that you're doing it,
She would have told me.
all right.
I don't
So
know.
with you being able to answer a question that way, then you have at least seen her pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Okay. When she would get pissed at you, what are the things that she's getting pissed at you about?
I mean, as far the most recent argument that I can remember, and I don't even remember exactly when this was. I was driving in the rain, and a possum came across the street, and I almost hit the possum, but instead of swerving out of the way, and going all the way around it, which is what she expected me to do, I went over it, and it went between my tires, and we heard a thud, and she got pissed. She got really angry because I didn't go and swerve around it, and I was like, this is to protect us, and she's like, it doesn't matter, you didn't have to hit him, and all this stuff, and we're arguing back and forth in the front seat about this friggin' possum, and those were the things she cared about. We came to a very well understanding that what I do financially, how I handle my financials, is, I take care of myself, and I take care of her when she needs it. And, because I was a driver, I was making good enough money to be able to take care of whatever and have fun and do all this stuff. Financially, we generally did not argue about it. She could have been upset that we didn't win anything. I really don't know. She didn't convey to me that she was upset.
When you're saying you took care of her, you bought her things?
I would buy her things on
you-
occasion, but if she was short on a bill or something like that, I would give her a little bit of money to help her out. Things like that. It wasn't like I paid for everything. She clearly had 2 jobs and took care of herself for the most part. But if she needed my help, I would help her.
Why would, if she was forthcoming with you about problems she had with you, why would she tell these other people that she had problems and not say anything to
I
you?
don't know. That's on her. It's a question for her. I really don't know.
On April 7th, 2013, a bag was found in a dump pile on the creek banks of Big Cedar Road by a man looking for scrap metals who opened the bag and saw what appeared to be a skull. He called 911 and the police arrived, treating it as a crime scene. The body, which was wrapped in plastic with nothing left but bones, would later be discovered to be Caitlin Markham. It had been 2 years since her disappearance, and the cause of death was still undetermined, but the incident was now ruled out as homicide. The bones were taken to an anthropologist who found cut marks in the wrist. At that point, all the police knew was that skeletal remains were found in Indiana, near where John Carter's father owned property, Carterland. She was found in the middle of the direct route between her home in Ohio and the property. With this, the BCSO brought John Carter in for questioning.
All right.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Breathe.
Totally cool.
I know.
I'm totally fine.
And yet we're going to talk things that are going to be upsetting. Obviously it's a tragic situation. How have you been over these past few years? So you're not planning on going to, aren't they doing it on the 18th at the movie theater? 16th?
I think so, yeah. No, I'm not doing that. My
Cindy.
mom has a copy. If I want to watch it, I'll watch it with her. But the people that are going to be there, I assume, are the people who were attacking me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to be around them, first of all. And second of all, I don't need to prove shit to them.
Right.
They are nothing.
Has any of those people tried to, stir the pot since?
They all do,
Really?
as far as I'm concerned. I find that as long as I stay out of it as much as possible, and
So how do you do that, though? You know what I mean? With you
I just
being-
don't look. I do not look. That's really what happens, and then what inevitably happens is I have a friend or somebody
Tell
who
you.
does look, who winds up telling me everything, and then I just, like, the best I can do is throw my hands in the air, because I know what they're like. I know what's going to happen, because I saw my friends go through it trying to defend me, is they'll say things that they know is factual, and then these people turn around and change it into something else, and make it about something else. And if I do that, then all I'm getting is bullet fire. All I'm getting is everything that they could possibly say to me, to accuse me, to throw me through a loop, to make, and they're not even, they didn't know her, they're not a police force, they're not an investigative force in any way. They're just people sitting at their computer trying to throw around crazy things, and what really convinced me not to talk to them was the crazy stories that I heard that came out of there. One of which being that me and all of my friends sacrificed Caitlin over a bed of fire, which is absurd. Like, I can't believe you would even think that that's a possibility.
A lot of people were suspicious of John, with a fan creating a Facebook page considering everything, where a lot of members suspected John did it. John responded to these allegations about his potential involvement, calling the statements ridiculous, saying that he would never hurt Caitlin in a million years.
Another one was that somebody claimed to have witnessed me carrying a body bag in the parking lot of the Sacred Heart Festival while the festival was going on, from one car to another. Like, you really think that I would ever think of doing something like that? Like, what?
Caitlin's father held a memorial service at Fairfield High School, which was filled with people from her community. On that day, John gave a heartfelt speech, which Caitlin's friends all thought was overly dramatic. They also found it strange that there were no tears.
You know, you were one of the 8 on a person of interest that Fairfield had. One of 8. There's 2 people to talk to after you that we've got to talk to prior to this documentary coming out. So, that's why we wanted to talk to you. I guess taking back to that day.
Well, I mean, what is your recollection like from, and I get
Can
5
I
years
just
out.
run through the story, and then hopefully we'll satiate any questions you have about that particular day?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, again, like you
Let's-
said...
Let's start back maybe like the day before that, if you can remember.
I don't think I'm 100%. I know that we went to Sacred Heart Festival.
Okay.
Um,
Now that would have
I
been
know that
on Friday.
I put $100 into the... I think so.
Okay.
I'm going to avoid dates and times.
I got you. I got you. It's been 5 years. I got you.
But I can't tell you events. I do know that we went there. I do know that I went to go put $100 in on the $10,000 raffle because I was convinced that if I won it, then we'd have $10,000 to move to Colorado together. She was okay with the notion, but she was kind of grumpy that day. I got her food. I did everything I could to try and make her happy again. We hung out for a little bit, and then I went home or something. I might have went out. I really don't know. But that's all I know of the day before.
Okay.
Okay. The day after, I don't think I remember exactly what happened the day that she, like...
Did you work that Saturday? Friday, Sacred Heart. Saturday, Bombard.
Saturday was the 13th, right?
Mm-hmm. Bombard.
Okay, so Friday, we went to Sacred Heart. Saturday, I don't remember what I did during the day, but I do know that whenever I got home, I went to her house. And I hung out with her, and Brad, I think, called her, and then he came over. I remember Batman Begins was playing on TV. I remember she was doing her homework, and
What did he come over for? You remember
I
that?
think just to hang out. I really don't remember exactly why. I know we talked about mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know we talked about like me maybe getting them or something like that, but
Did you have them that night?
no.
Because there's 2 different versions of
I've
that.
heard the other version, and no, I did not have them.
Did you have your laptop with you that night?
No, she had hers. I didn't have a laptop. I have a desktop. I had a desktop at the time too.
So you didn't have a laptop at all?
No. No, my mom had a laptop, Steve had a laptop, I had a desktop. And it was an all-in-one PC desktop thing.
Okay, but so, I mean, it was pretty portable, wasn't it?
What?
Was it a tower?
No,
No.
it was just a one-screen deal, but
Got
I
it.
wouldn't bring it anywhere. You know,
Okay.
it was this wide, it's this big,
Got it.
and it doesn't fold, and it's that fat. You know,
I know.
I'm not carrying it around.
Yeah.
You know, I did not have a computer. She had her computer,
Okay.
and she was looking at like her homework and dealing with all of that, and when Brad came over, I showed him, because I had taken a glass blowing class not too long before this.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, actually, I think it was before I broke my leg, so it must have been about a year, or like 6 months or so. But I was showing Brad some of the paperweights I had made, because I gave them to her. And she had been packing and stuff, and there was one of the paperweights was in a box she had. So just showing it to Brad, and then we were talking, and I think we smoked, or smoked some weed, something like that. It really was very casual, just sitting around hanging out.
What'd she get frustrated about?
I got frustrated. So, after Brad left, I'm sitting there and I'm watching Batman Begins for probably the 4th time, and it was on TNT or one of those random cable channels. And I just got really, really bored. I didn't, I'm sorry about the show. I got really, really bored, and I said, Caitlin, I can't sit here and watch you do homework or watch this Batman Begins over and over again. This is just too boring. And she got a little upset because I basically said she was boring me. But it was like, you're doing your homework. Like, what am I gonna do? So I left. Before I left, I was like, she had said something about the bank statements that she had in the bag and all of that stuff, which I'm sure you heard about. I said, okay, I'll take care of them. I remember going to Race Street, the house on Race, and I was going to go ahead and take care of it because I told her I'd take care of it. So I just burned the bag and everything in it. And she texted me and she's like, oh, I wish you would have waited for me. And I was like, you told me to take care of it. You know, typical like boyfriend, girlfriend arguments.
Why didn't you guys burn it the day before when you was at your mom's house? That fire.
Because neglect. Didn't think about it.
Okay.
And I didn't remember. Oh, we did have a fire, didn't we? Anyway, basically neglect. It was that I didn't go to her house, I guess. And so she didn't really think to bring it. And it just...
Did she know that she was going to have a campfire that night? Or
No,
she just asked you
we
just
never
to get
planned.
that?
We never planned those until the day of that. We would like send out a mass text or something like that saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have a fire. Anyone wants to come over? Come on over." That's pretty much how that worked. That's how Race Street worked. They texted me and said, "Hey, we're having a fire. Come on over," or "Hey, we're having people over. Come over." You know, so that's why I wound up going to Race because I was like, "I'm bored. They're texting me. I'm going." So I went there. I did that. It started to rain. We went inside. I remember feeling really hungry, like felt kind of queasy. So I looked for food. Wound up with ramen, I think. I remember a few people. I remember Josh Shake being there. I remember Joey being there. I remember Travis being there. Carrie, they lived there, so I assumed that they were there. I don't remember too much from like while I was there, but after I left, I went home. I decided to, okay, so I'm going to say this because Fairfield made it such a pertinent thing to point out to me that I didn't point it out when I told the story originally.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at porn, okay, and then I watched a show called White Collar.
At home, after you leave?
Yes,
Okay.
I went home and I did that,
Mhm.
and then I went to bed, and I thought and Fairfield told me that I didn't send it, that it didn't show up in the call log, but I thought I had sent her a good morning text message. But other than that, I remember going to bed and then waking up the next day really late and going to work. And I remember I took 2 Excedrin because I had a headache, and I didn't drink the night before, I just had a headache. And I remember like the caffeine was a little intense in that because I also had coffee, and then I remember it getting towards the end of my shift, towards the time that Caitlin should be off work. It was like 7 or something like that. I think she was supposed to get off at 7. And I tried calling her, I kept texting her, and by then she would have called me or texted me, so I told my boss, I was like, I'm gonna go check and see what's going on. I get there, her car's not there. I go inside, I don't remember, I just remember putting my key in and unlocking it and going in. I don't remember checking to see if it was unlocked first. I just wanted to see if she was okay, and went upstairs. Murphy was in her room. I remember the poop all over the floor. I remember the pencil holder being knocked over. I remember Allie's picture from the coffee table was knocked over, and that gets knocked over if you accidentally knock the table even a little bit. So I was already running down possible scenarios of what was happening when that happened. And then
Did you say her car was not there?
her car was there. Her car was definitely there. I remember going outside, and honestly, beyond that, it became kind of a frantic blur. I do remember calling 911 on my way back from giving my tip money that I owed Papa John's. I gave them my tip money, and then I drove back, and on my way back I called 911. So,
Why did you get excited about the car being there when she was supposed to get off at 7?
because I thought she was home. I didn't get excited. I wouldn't say excited was the word that I would search for.
What word
I
would
was
you use?
concerned more than excited.
You
Because
say, a
I
couple
think
times, you say you're freaking out.
Here, let me.
I was concerned.
Here's what I want to show you, just to give you a recollection. It was in 2012, yeah. Here's the questions that are confusing to us.
Okay.
Obviously, you say there, I could let you listen to 911. You say you're riled up about the car being there. You say to Fairfield and Indiana State Patrol and to the feds that you're excited about the car being there. Here's the confusion to us.
Okay.
You say she's supposed to get off at 7. You're talking to Matt Rokamp on the phone.
He called me.
Right, as you pull in and see the car. That is at 7:21 you're talking to him. That's the time she should be there, 7:21.
I mean,
So that's the
maybe,
confusion.
maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. But
That's the
regardless,
confusion on our side.
Understood. Regardless, the issue, in hindsight and after watching the video, the issue was not that she should have been off work or any of that. And during that particular interrogation, that felt a little forced and a little fucking scary, man. Like, that was a scary moment.
That's because I don't.
Let me explain. Let me
Okay.
explain.
Because that's what I want to hear.
What was freaking me out, what was bothering me, is that if she was off work, she would have answered her phone. She would have answered that call immediately.
But what if
And
she's
if
like
her
in the
car
shower?
is there,
You know what I mean?
it wouldn't have mattered. I called her over the span of a few hours. You don't take a few hour shower.
Okay.
You know, because I started calling her.
But you believe she was at work, right?
Huh?
You believed she was at work.
I had a feeling that she was at work.
And that she
but-
got off work at 7. This is the part that
But you have to
confuses us,
close
John.
work. Look, when you work at any job,
Uh-huh.
at any sort of retail or fast food or anything like that, you have to close the shift. You have to do things after the fact. So even if she did get off at 7, she still has to close up her shop. She still has to help clean up, and then she has to leave. It doesn't
So
matter
what was her
if it was.
normal time that she should have been at home?
I didn't have her planned out like that. I didn't have it down.
And that's
to
my
the
point to
science
you.
like that.
Why even going back to the 911
The thing that freaked
call?
me out was not that she came that she was home. It wasn't the fact that she was
That's
there.
absolutely
I didn't
what
care.
you said in every interview. The reason that you're freaked out was seeing her car there at that time.
Because I had been calling her and she didn't answer. That's why I was freaked out about seeing her car there. Her car freaked me out because if she was home, she would answer.
So
If she
did
was
you-
at work, she wouldn't answer, which would have given me relief if her car wasn't there. If her car wasn't there, that meant she was still at work. If she was still at work, then that means she had a reason not to answer. If her car is there and she's not answering her phone, then that means she's in trouble. That there's something wrong, because I was, every time I called, the only consistent thing between me and her was that I would call her and she would answer.
The detectives find it suspicious that he called the police to report her missing as early as 7:30 a.m. He then tries to explain himself, claiming he was freaked out because he was calling and she did not answer. The detectives will then show John evidence of his DNA on the tarp bag Caitlin's body was wrapped in when found.
Help us explain this, John. This is from BCI out of London, Ohio. Explain to me why your DNA is on the inside of a Kroger's bag that was wrapped around her skeletal remains out
I
in Indiana,
have no idea.
and why your DNA was on a black piece of plastic that her skeletal remains.
I have no idea.
That's not made up stuff. That's,
I didn't fucking do that though,
But
but I'm
I'm-
leaving. I'm getting a lawyer, thank you.
A little bit longer than what we thought. Hold on, John, let us walk you out. Let us walk you out.
I have nothing to do with that.
When presented with this evidence, John storms out saying he's getting a lawyer. He then says he wants to come back and talk.
You don't have to stay here. This is fucking horrible, man. This is
I have
horrible.
no reason to have, there's no, what is
Your-
it, my hair?
Your DNA was found on the
Where?
bag,
Where?
around her head, on the inside of the bag.
Hold on just 1 second. Let's do something procedural, because I'm not gonna get myself fired, all right? We're trying to get information from you that we have. This isn't props, it isn't made up. We're just trying to get answers, John.
I understand.
Now, but stop, let me finish before you do anything else, all right? You got up and said you wanted an attorney. We walked to the front and you said you wanted to come back and talk.
Let me fill that out.
so
Let me do that, 'cause
procedurally-
I want to deal with
Yes,
this.
but
I want to deal with
all right,
this,
but let
so
me
please,
finish.
can we just get
So-
going?
So procedurally, I'm gonna read you this to you again, okay? It says you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to consult with an attorney, and if you can't afford one, one will be appointed for you free of charge. Do you understand your rights as I've read them to you?
Yes, I
Do you agree to talk to us of your own free will?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Just because
Okay, go.
that exists does not put me there. I was not there. I did not do anything to her. And I want that to be known. Okay, I'm saying this right now. First of all, evidence in a bag and on a piece of plastic, whoever did this could have easily have grabbed a bag that I had used, or a bag that I had held, or have done anything. Or I could be being set up, but I did not do this. There are accounts of where I was that night, according to my mother, according to my stepfather, and according to my stepsister. Okay?
We're way past that. We know exact time slots. We're past that, okay?
We've educated ourselves very, very well. I've got a coaster. I can tell you when you jacked off the Pornhub. I can tell you every site you downloaded.
And
I
so
can't account for about 3 hours and 45 minutes of your time.
when I was sleeping,
When I don't know where you was, but I know your DNA is on these two things found out in Indiana. That I do know. And that's why we're trying to talk.
but my stepsister woke up in the middle of the night to take care of her daughter and noticed that my car was still in the driveway.
That means nothing to us, John. You could have used her car, you could have used anybody's car. I don't know.
And there was DNA in her car. Like, where is a bag with my DNA on it and a piece of plastic with my DNA on it not circumstantial evidence?
You watch too much TV.
Let me explain this. Long term, okay. We've got a jury sitting here, okay? They're right here. I'm talking to them. Folks, how you doing today? And this is happening Friday, just so you know. It's already set up.
Okay, well then,
Let me explain.
I
Let me
would
explain.
like to leave. If
Absolutely.
That's okay. I'd
Yeah.
like to leave so that I can deal with this with a better mindset, please.
Thank you.
Once again, John decides to leave, opting to deal with the situation when he has a lawyer present. Years had gone by since Caitlin's death and the case had been closed, but Paul Newton, chief investigator for the Butler County Prosecutor's Office, will not have it as he reopened the case in January of 2020, 8 years and 5 months since Caitlin's death. The investigator called John's mother, Karen Rinkler, asking why John had problems with the polygraphs years ago, to which she replied, Jeffrey Dahmer passed his polygraph. On February 15th, 2023, the prosecutor's office got John to come in willingly for another interview.
The date today is February 15th, 2023, approximately 1:26 p.m. in the afternoon. Investigator Paul Newton and Investigator Mike Regal, we are sitting here with John Carter. John voluntarily came in this afternoon to speak with us.
That's why I'm asking you guys. We're asking you to ask questions about, because there's some things only you know.
Okay.
So we go back. Okay, you grab a purse. You notice the cell phone's not there. Okay, you go through the purse. Pocketbook's there. Okay, Murphy's still in the room, and I'm painting this picture for you. And you see her charger's still charged up. No phone. You're getting angst, and you go to her purse and you grab her keys. You go. I think you said in one of your statements you took keys downstairs. I think in another statement you gave, you also alluded to that you had checked her car, her phone.
If it was an earlier statement, I may have.
I think you. I think you went. I think it's the reason why you grabbed her keys
to check for her phone. I mean,
yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yes.
That I would do that.
Absolutely, and I would think that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the questions we have. Okay.
That would make sense that I went to look for her phone.
Okay. If you can, remember and in detail as possible, describe to me when you get to her car, you put the keys and you put the key and you unlock her car, or if it's a key fob, you unlock her car. What did you do? Look, just looking for her phone. Just looking for her phone.
Probably opened her driver's side door and center console.
Okay. Did you go to the back of the car? I know you're probably.
No, I really don't think so. But I may have opened it and looked, or maybe I don't remember.
Okay.
I really don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
I really don't.
There's no for you to apologize.
I know,
we're here for the truth.
But I want to get it. I want to give you the truth. I want to give you what I remember.
No, I want you to. I'm going to show you what.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So I did find something interesting. So there's three episodes of White Collar. Season 2, episode 12, episode 13, episode 14. You said they're about 45 minutes apiece?
Something like that.
Okay. Then later in the day, I guess after you've gotten up, you look at the plot summaries for the same. It's on your computer.
I mean, I don't know why. I didn't look up any plot summaries.
Yeah, I mean, so later in the day, so I'm converting this from the military time, but about 3:17, you look at the plot summary for episode 13, which is the one that you watched the night before, which just maybe.
I don't remember doing that. Did I look it up on IMDb? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't normally do that, so I don't know why.
Yeah, there is a synopsis, basic plot summary, for episode 13.
Okay.
And then plot summary for episode 14. And that bothered me. I'll be honest, that kind of bothered me a little bit because in some of your viewing, it kind of made sense because maybe you're about to watch episode 10. I'm talking about before, like a few days before. So you looked at a plot summary for episode 9. That kind of makes sense. We all understand that. Yeah, what happened? But it was weird to me that you would look at like a synopsis for something you just watched a few hours ago.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that. I didn't do that. I slept. I mean, corroboratingly slept. You can ask my mom. I was asleep.
Well, I can tell you this. Part of your phone records. You made a phone call at, I believe it was 2:24 that day. Not John's. Not one call Papa John's because you remember this whole thing.
Okay.
But there again, you call Papa John's. You also text message Nate Iden. See when you back then?
Yeah.
And I think you also text Katie Harris.
Okay.
And it was all prior to 4:30.
Right, and this would have been at about 3:30 or 3:20, somewhere around there. And I'll be honest, John, it was odd to me because I don't normally would look at summary for something that I just watched a few hours before.
Yeah, I again don't know why it pulled up a plot summary, but it could be from me just like clicking back, like exiting out of things, going back or something like that. I mean, that could have easily been why. But I don't generally look at plot summaries even days later. I just watch the previously on thing, which those have. So all of those episodes have previously on White Collar. So I don't look up plot summaries. I don't know why that was on there. But maybe again, it's because I had clicked back on it. Maybe there is a missing point where I did like.
John claimed to have watched 3 episodes of a TV show before going to sleep. The detectives checked his browsing data, which confirmed his statement. But what's interesting is, according to the same date later that day, he looked at a plot summary for the episodes he watched, claiming here he did not know why he did that. The detectives suspect John may have been out that night and watched the videos to be ready to answer any related questions when asked.
We throw this at you, okay? Saturday night, August 13th. Okay. You go to your party to the street, burn the documents, remember among any point them, and you come back to the house. Okay. We have information that this is from 2 different people. That I'll tell you the story. 2 people were walking down the street, and at approximately between what they say is 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, they see or they hear 2 cars coming, and they are juveniles at the time. And they're scared to death because they are juveniles. You know how Fairfield PD is with juveniles at that time. It's late night, and they see 2 cars pull up. And they hide behind a tree. Some evergreens that were in there. They see 2 cars pull up. And the 2 cars, lights are blacked out. And they see a red Ford Focus pull into the driveway at your residence, the D101 West Scioto at the time, right? And that was your address at the time, right? It was with Mom. And they see a darker blue 4-door sedan right behind the Ford Focus. The red Ford Focus pulls into the driveway. Garage door opens up. They see the car pull into the garage. Garage door shuts. The blue car stays out on the street.
Okay, no, there's a problem.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay. Let me finish the story then.
Okay.
The blue car stays out on the street. Between 5 and 15 minutes later, Garage door pulls back open. Car pulls back out. Both cars are still blacked out, and they go back the same way they coming down West Scioto towards a cow, the west side that comes down towards your house. And they see the two cars. Red car pulls out, the car turns around, and they go the same way they come back out. Heading back towards West Scioto, heading towards Odebo River Road. Okay. Same story they told. They told they were heading, they were going to a party that night. They were going to a party to meet some girls. And they said they are positive what they seen that night. Now
I can't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I told you the gist of the story.
Yeah. I have my story. That's what happened.
Right.
What I did. I don't park in my garage. I parked in the driveway every night. And I'll say beyond, didn't have anything to do with that. I don't know what story that is. Was that, you said Saturday night?
Saturday night to Sunday morning.
I don't know.
And so technically it would have been, this 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 to 2, we're talking about early the 14th. And they got a third person backing them up that he took them to the party and picked them up in close proximity to your house. The third person. And they were like, oh shit, that was weird, because they thought they were going to get busted by a Fairfield Police Department. When in doubt, it was a red Ford Focus and a blue 4-door sedan.
I don't have anything for you. Those people, I don't know.
Right.
That's not, I told you I did. And where I was at home.
They were pretty certain about that.
That's fine.
The time does match up with you. I mean, it's like you said, that time when I was showing you the time that these people say that you arrived is consistent.
I didn't go anywhere.
So
I
you got
stayed at home.
home.
I got home and I stayed home. And in fact, my stepdad would wake up ridiculously early to do work. And he got up pretty early that morning to do work, and my car was there in the driveway. Steve and my mom both parked in the garage.
Okay.
And they were both of their cars were in there. I never parked in my garage. So that story is already flawed, on top of the fact that none of that happened. None of it. I went home, I got inside, I watched my shows, I did porn, I laid down, I went to bed. I mean, that is pretty much what happened as far as I can remember it at this point in this whole situation. And I don't have, you feel free to bring the witnesses in. I don't know what to tell you. There's no more I can prove to you.
2 different witnesses who went out that night to attend a party contradicted John's claim that he was home watching TV when he got back. According to these witnesses, John Carter left home in his car, accompanied by another vehicle at around 2 a.m. John denies this, saying none of that happened, still insisting he went to bed.
I wanted to, and no, not really. I mean, I like to write sometimes as like a hobby, and sometimes I write poetry for Caitlin, or if I was really hard up and bad, I could use poetry to help me escape. And, occasionally write stuff.
So you ever talk about writing a book?
Yeah, I had an idea for a book where a guy would, and that honestly happened, the idea for the book happened after Caitlin passed away. Because the idea behind the book was that a person would lose somebody very close to them, just like I did, because I write my experiences. I can't write something I don't know. And then discover that in their dreams, they're able to control the way that the future goes by going back into their dream and trying to fix things. There was a point when I was debating whether or not I wanted him to be able to go back and save the person he had lost, or if that he had to accept the facts. And I just had thoughts. It wasn't ever written down as far as I know.
kind of like science fiction, almost. something
Yeah,
like
I like sci-fi.
It sounds like. So what was the premise of the book? And you said this happened after Kate.
Mhm.
Okay, so you came up with the idea.
Mhm.
Okay. And
The
the idea is you go in to try to fix.
the dream portion of the idea happened before Caitlin. Because I actually had a dream where this whole Matt comes into the room of my apartment at the time, Matt Rokamp, and he's like, check it out. There's this red space, and I go into it, and there's this woman, and she goes, I'm gonna tell you how to travel through time. She grabs me and pulls me through the water and throws me forward, and I land in my preschool, like looking at myself, and I'm like, what? I start talking to myself, saying, this is gonna happen to you, this is gonna happen to you, and I wake up. And it was just such an impactful dream that it made me want to write something that had to do with that. The idea behind not a time machine, but the fact that you can go into your own consciousness, affect your dream, which your dreams affect your day, right? If you have a scary dream, you start off scared.
Yeah.
You know, so you change time by going through your own consciousness. That was the whole idea and premise. And then the loss idea came after Caitlin, because I was trying to use that particular type of writing for that reason.
And to kind of work through what had happened?
Yeah, and I maybe have written like a couple of starters, but nothing that actually unfolded into anything real.
Because I gotta bring this up to you, I gotta bring it up, because I heard that you were writing a book about people mysteriously disappearing.
Oh, okay. So then the book continues,
Okay.
right? Because he's been affecting everything in everyone's in his own brain,
Right.
and that affects reality. This causes you to jump through, and please bear with me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm following so far.
Yeah.
So far.
So the idea is that universes are created every decision we make.
Mhm.
Each person creates the universe that goes along with their choices. Animals,
Right or
everything.
left.
Exactly. You know. So in that, because you're doing these dream things, literally you're going back in time to the dream of that consciousness and affecting everything from following times after that dream. So the current era person goes back to a before time, affects a dream that then affects the trajectory of the future.
John says he likes to write and even got ideas for a book after Caitlin, a statement that would be in the moments to come as the police would discover some disturbing writing of his.
You told us earlier that you were not aware of anything about Caitlin having second thoughts about what. Is that right?
No, she never made me aware of her not wanting to go to Colorado. Maybe she had like doubts or second thoughts. And we were like, are we sure we're going to do this? But it was never like, you go and I'll stay, or we should just not do this together. It was like, are we sure we have the money, the wherewithal, the
She's converting
financial?
you, so.
Yeah, she's confiding and trying to figure out. And it was never, I don't want to go, and me going, well, we said we were going to go. Like, if she said she didn't want to go, okay, let's not go. If she said she did want to go, okay, I'll do everything in my power to get us going.
Mm-hmm. What about this credit card? Didn't your mom sign for a credit card with her?
With her, yeah.
She canceled.
Probably, I mean, I don't know.
She canceled it. She decided not to go forward.
I don't think she wanted to have credit cards, part of the bank statement idea. You know, like she just didn't want to do credit cards and keep them.
But that doesn't seem to be going with, she didn't like credit cards? I mean, she seems like a plant.
Well, she does, and she is a planner, but that doesn't, I don't know about the credit card.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to ask you something personal here, and I know it's all personal, but so I think you had mentioned something probably way back in one of your interviews about Caitlin didn't mind you looking at porn.
Yeah, I said that here just now.
Oh, yes. And I think I'd heard that before, maybe, or read it in a report.
Like I said, Sarah, my wife, watched it with her. She remembers the story.
Okay.
She's the one who reminded me of that story.
Okay. Why was everything in your relationship okay?
Yeah. I
Personal,
just
sexual,
just
all
like
of that?
porn, dude. I was 20 something years
No,
old.
I understand.
You know what
I get
mean?
that. But there wasn't any difficulties in your,
Sexual?
no?
No. I didn't know how to do it. I was probably bad at sex, to tell you the truth, at the time, for sure. But no, I mean,
No.
like, we didn't have sex super often.
Okay.
But that didn't bother me. I did, the things that would get to me sometimes is I would like just more cuddling. And it bothered me that she didn't cuddle me as much as I would like her to. But that never was anything we fought about, not really. And we've been on the verge of breaking up before. That's not like it wouldn't be any sort of new scenario. And it never escalated to more than like, I remember one time she was basically breaking up with me long before all this shit. And she's we're talking it out, and I say, let's just go to the skate park and sit outside and talk, just me and you. We'll figure it out. We went to the skate park, we sat on the side of the bowl at Waterworks, and we talked. And I said, I remember saying, Caitlin, I just don't see myself being with anyone else but you. Don't want to. If you need me to do this or that, I will do this or that. I don't remember what her main complaints were at the time, but I do remember that we talked it through. We discussed everything. We didn't fight. Not like Sarah and I fight, to tell you the truth. But we didn't fight. And that was while we were basically almost breaking up. It was just a communication thing. That was years. It's not like we broke up and then got back together and then broke up a week later and got back together. It was, is this really what I want? And that's really what Caitlin was doing. Is this really what I want? Do I really want to be with him for the rest of my life? And basically it was me saying, yeah, you do. You do. You want to be with me because I want to be with you.
John agrees that Caitlin was upset the night of her death, but denies that there was anything seriously wrong in their relationship and that Caitlin had second thoughts about marriage. The detectives interviewed 118 people to get a clearer picture of the relationship between John and Caitlin, which was far from what John had made it out to be. She told one of her friends in June 2011, 2 months before her death, "I don't love John anymore, his porn, his drug usage, anything he wants me to do intimately, I don't want to be a part of." Another interviewee said that for John, a breakup with Caitlin would be catastrophic. This leads the detectives to believe that Caitlin may have ended their relationship, or she may have given an ultimatum, leading to John doing unimaginable things. With this information, the detectives bring the interview to a close.
Did you park in the garage?
We'll get
Yes,
your parking,
if I
so you get out of here.
Yeah.
We'll take you upstairs right after.
Yeah, I gotta be out.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and kind of end our interview, okay?
All right.
Conclusion of the interview of John Carter, Investigator Regal, and Investigator Newton. 2/15/2023 at approximately 3:42 p.m. So, okay, thank
All
you,
right,
John.
now let's go find the rest. Thank you.
The Butler County Prosecutor's Office launched a search at John's mother's home on February 24, 2023. They found disturbing things, including a writing, "I slit your wrist with the key to your heart," which was interesting as Caitlin had cuts on her wrist when she was found. Investigators also found creepy writing of John talking about burying the body, among other disturbing things. All of this was enough evidence that John was hiding something. On March 22, 2023, the police tracked down John Carter, who was at his office, arresting him and charging him with murder. This came as a surprise to John, as it had been so long since the murder that he never thought he would ever be caught.
What's happening?
This is what we call, I think you would, and I know you are probably a Avengers fan, but this is what we call the end game. The end game is, we went to a grand jury. Your mom testified before the grand jury because we want her to have her say and input in that grand jury, that proceeding. And the grand jury has indicted you.
Why?
They indict because they feel that there's enough probable cause that this case proceed further to the common police court.
Okay.
So they believe the information that we had, and you've been indicted, and
For what?
murder.
Okay, but what evidence? There's nothing.
You're thinking of, there's evidence that's got to be fingerprints.
No, I mean-
there's things called circumstantial evidence,
Okay.
and there's a lot of, and I mean, you've already talked about the circumstantial evidence, the red flags. That's circumstantial evidence.
Okay, but I had nothing to do with her death or disappearance or any of that, so.
That being
okay.
said,
Okay, I'm listening.
we are at the point in time now to where this is where you need to come clean with what everything happened that night, because here's the thing, dude, I'm telling you, the whole stories that you've been giving, the inconsistent stories you've been giving them, being the police department, the media, and everybody else since 2011, it's come to a point now to where no one's believing the story. Okay, the whole story about the unknown suspect or individual who was at the festival following you and Caitlin to her house. No one's believing that.
Okay.
They didn't believe it when you first come out with it.
Okay, but that was just like a thought. I mean, like you asked me my theories and I gave you my thought, but I don't
You told no one asked you that question. That's the question you gave to the 911 operator day one. Okay.
Okay.
So that being
I
said,
thought maybe that could be a possibility, but I'm not saying that's my story. I don't know what the fuck happened. I have no idea what happened. That's not a story I gave you as an excuse or any other thing than just there could have been any reason. And I thought maybe that would be the most likely scenario because it seems unbelievable to me that anyone I know would do that to her.
okay.
But I haven't made any lies. I haven't told you anything that didn't happen. So maybe my stories are different sometimes here and
Sometimes,
there.
John,
But there's
your story has evolved constantly over the past almost 12 years.
Because it's been 12 fucking years.
Yeah, but your story is never the same story twice. That's the best part about all this. It's never the same story twice.
What are you talking about?
All your stories.
What part is inconsistent or different?
You filled out, you remember filling out a form early on, like
Yeah,
shortly,
just writing down everything that I
writing
think
down
happened.
everything, you talked
Yeah.
about the events of that day, and
Yes.
it's like, tell us about Caitlin, and you wrote, she is kind, she has a snaggle tooth. You remember that form? That was
Vaguely.
So you wrote down a whole sequence of events from the day before and the day after in August, and you have events that just like they couldn't have occurred. Like they couldn't have occurred, like, you know, about your mom coming back from David's bridal, and you had all of these other things happening, and then you called the police. Like, John, like, I read through it, and I went through it, and I read it, and went back over it, and this is right after it happened.
Okay, can I
Say what you gotta say, brother.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new to tell you. So if we're just gonna sit here and question me,
There's no more questioning.
or expect me to
This is
confess
this
to
this
anything
this.
that we're
Let me
gonna have
get
to
this
move
out to you, okay?
forward.
Let me tell you what this is where I'm
Had
gonna tell you
nothing
this
to do with her death or
Okay.
disappearance, and that's really
right
all
now.
I
As of
have
right
to
now,
say right now.
as of right now, okay. If you want to tell us what really happened that night, I'm willing to listen. The prosecutor is willing to listen. No, but we don't want to hear no more of this nonsense about this unknown suspect following you guys.
I'm not giving you that. Okay? That's the unknown suspect following me thing. Okay, fine. What I have been telling you and what I've been trying to say is I have no clue what happened to her. What I did,
I'm not buying
what I
that.
said. Okay, then we're done.
I'm fine.
I'm
with
gonna
that.
need to get my lawyer.
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Yes, because you'll be
Can I
going to court.
please have a phone call?
Yes, when you get to the jail.
After receiving the charges, John refused to proceed with the interview and invoked his right to have a lawyer. Caitlin's family and friends said that they could not believe what had happened. To avoid a trial which would potentially have him convicted of murder, John Carter pleaded to a lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter. He received a maximum penalty of only 36 months for this crime.